Friday, October 18th was the start of the social outbreak as students decided to avoid the subway turnstiles as the price of the subway tickets had risen by 30 pesos. However, the source of the protests that have been active for over a month, it is not the rise in subway tickets prices, but the social demands that the current Chilean system does not cover. Some of these social demands are low pensions, inequality in education, precarious health systems, and insufficient minimum wages. Social media has played a very important role in this crisis, since Chileans, mainly young adults, have been using them to organize and convoke protests and to manifest their opinions. Besides, these platforms have been used to share and receive information. Thanks to these calls through the internet, the largest march registered in the country was achieved with 1,200,000 people in Plaza Italia on October 25th, fulfilling a historical record. At the same time, events such as councils have been coordinated through the same medium, which corresponds to meetings where neighbors from the same sector meet to talk about the country's situation currently being lived. These meetings are also attended by experts and specialists to provide more information to the population.
Regarding to the social outbreak, what has been observed is that both social networks and instant messaging applications have been extremely important, not only in the organization and the call for each of the activities or demonstrations in different parts of the country, but also as an expression tool. We have two platforms. The first one is Asamblea Barrial Los Dominicos on Instagram, and its second one, the guys from communications got in touch with other councils of Las Condes, and a common platform was generated. In the first platform, we spread our own material about the assembly, activities, and calls. In the second platform, we spread all the topics that have to do with all the councils. It's very relevant in terms of the impact of the social movement. They have been fundamental in order to organize in terms of the councils.
However, it is not to be forgotten that social media can be a double-edged sword.
We think the negative aspect, we have fake news, very violent content that is not verifiable or whose context is not understood. We have seen even false calls to protests with images, text, phrases, which are not typical of the conveners themselves. That effect is what polarization is looking for, so public opinion that has a natural tendency to polarize. It is facilitated by this empowerment, which is dangerous because by strengthening extreme positions, democracy, institutions, and peaceful conflict resolution mechanisms are weakened.
As it was shown, social media plays a transversal role in today's society. They serve both to entertain and form a community and to encourage a social revolution and inform. A clear example of this is what Chile is experiencing these days, a demonstration of how changes and upheavals in a country are generated in 2019, which is very different from how they developed until a few years ago. Nevertheless, it is shown that while these platforms are used to the dissemination and organization of social movements, they can also generate fear and misinformation.